Fuck me. OK. Mí drazí, sešli jsme se u tohoto streamu, aby jsme poznali pík. Dneska jdeme pokořit už snad Rin a Archera a dostaneme se k Kirinovi a Saber. To je ten goal dneška. Okay, muzika se vypíná. Zapíná se game captury. Ne. Load. 1. február. Jdeme na to. That's about it for the broader strokes of this business. Once 7 servants have been summoned, the Holy Grail War will begin. Tonight's sleep will be a fitful one. I don't know when the final master will appear, but they could be right around the corner. No, krásné to ráno. Is it morning already? I feel sluggish. My bleary gaze goes up to the window, only to see that it's already bright outside. It's after 9. This doesn't even count as being tardy. After a drowsy check of the clock, I make up my mind to skip school today. Body's heavy. Feels like that business mostly drained me. Sitting up in bed, I have a long sigh. Not being a morning person isn't enough to explain why I feel so dull. I think Archer mentioned something about it. The master will be out of commission after summoning a servant. That's right. No, ne většinou. That's right. I summoned Archer, not Saber. Jako většinou jsou mástrové v pohodě po tom, co jako summonou servanta. Teď jako, když nebudeme počítat Rin, tak Shiro byl v pohodě. Ještě měl dostatek energie, aby vyběhl ven. Teď se jenom vzpomínám na lidi z Fate Strange Fake, ale tam jsou taky úplně v pohodě. Jako, Rin není asi jako úplně full-fledged mágii. Takže, mágii. Není to prostě omáčka, není to úplně hotová magie. Ale většinou bývají v pohodě. Takže, no a Rin. I remember it all clearly now. I would rather not, to be honest. It's not as if denying the facts will let me do it over. It'll take a day or so to recover my power. I'll just read today like a break-in period. I drag myself out of bed. A mental boxing match rages between the outside air, which is quite warm for winter, and the comfort of my bedsheets. It concludes in a 3-second knockout against the temptation of going back to sleep. I check my body in the mirror. Nothing out of place, aside from the loss of half my usual magical energy. Not that it's a problem. I review the situation. I summon the servant Archer, who doesn't have an ounce of respect for his master. To make matters worse, he doesn't even know who he is. Wow, talk about a headache. I guess that means that his trump card is off the table until his memories come back. Can't expect him to use a power he doesn't even remember. Sevens are strong familiars all on their own, but what makes them truly formidable is the secret weapon they each possess. Frustratingly, Archer claims to have forgotten what his is. It's my fault he's in the state, so we'll just have to make it work. We are both in the same boat then. I can only pray that he'll sort his memories out, but who knows how long that might take. Yare yare. I've really got my work cut out for. Whoa. Whoa. I might have to evaluate. Fuck me. Reevaluate my opinion of him. The parle is completely back to normal. Fuck. Oh! Nee, dat is een skip nog. Fuck. Já nevím, jak se dá ne menu, ale config. Autosave. Shit. Backlog. OK, to nic neudělalo. Oh. Oh, okay. I thought he would maybe just clear away the detritus, but the room is so spotless I can't help but be impressed. He must have felt bad for wrecking the place. I doubt he would have gone to the trouble otherwise. I guess I ought to commend him for being a more decent guy than I... Still taking your sweet time, I see. Need I remind you that we are wasting daylight? ... I retract my statement. There isn't a remorseful bone in his body. Good morning. You seem to have made yourself right at home. Oh můj bože, vaření. I did spend the night, after all. Oh, I took the occasion to tidy up the kitchen. I expected it to be inadequate, but it's rather thoughtfully furnished. Quite well kept for a girl living alone in a mansion. ... I have a headache. Why do I have to put up with a servant judging my interior decoration? I thought servants all cared only about fighting. Are we sure this guy isn't defective? I see you aren't in your best condition. You're so feisty last night, but the fatigue must have caught up with you. I'll pour you some tea. I hope black is fine. Nah, černý, nah. Acting like he owns the place. Without missing a beat, Archer produces a teacup and fills it with the expensive reddish tea he's been brewing. ... There's a lot I want to say right now, but oddly enough, I can't work up the indignation to. The way he does it all is so refined. I've got to admit he might be rather cultured. That's smug. Fine. I'm pretty exhausted, so I'll have some. I sit down on the chair. The teacup is placed soundlessly in front of me. I take a sip. Oh. Umai. I expected it as much. since it's my favorite Chinese tea, a spring harvest Hongcha. I'll be upset if it didn't taste good. On that note, I would normally be upset if someone used my favorite tea leaves without asking. It makes me mad, but the tea was brewed so exquisitely that the pleasure it brings overcomes my anger. Hey, what's so funny? Well, I was going to ask how you like it, but your face tells me enough. I set the teacup down with a forceful thud. Oh, what a waste. You should enjoy it while it's still hot. I can leave if I'm spoiling the mood. No need. Thanks for the tea. I didn't become a master to be a tea snob. And I didn't ask you to do that, either. I see. I agree. I didn't make a contract with you to be a tea brewer. I'll show more restraint in the future, if that's what you want. Yeah, you're only here to be a combat familiar. No. I've never heard of a servant that does household chores, nor do I particularly need one. What do you mean by particularly? Interpret that however you want. More importantly, do you remember who you are yet? Oh, front-facing Archer. Archer shakes his head in the negative. That doesn't bode well. If he can't remember after a single night, then his memories probably won't return easily. There are some measures I can try today, but... Alright. I'll think of some solutions for your memory issue. For now, get ready to head out, Archer. You probably don't know the lay of the land yet, do you? I'll give you a tour of the city. Get ready? There's no need for that, surely. If we are leaving, we should go right now. Terin se nevyzná ve spirit formách, ach jo. Do you plan to walk around town in that outfit? Anyone can see that you aren't a normal person. And if another master spots you, they'll know you're a servant right away. I don't plan on announcing our presence to the world. Ah, so that's your concern. There's no problem. Why would need to change clothes to blend in? That's only one materialized. Servants are fundamentally spiritual beings. When we are out of combat, I can take an incorporeal state to reduce the burden on my master. Ježišmarja. Pořád nejsem na tom... Koel, já tě plánuju, až dokončím Saber Routu, tak plánuju, že tě přidám na Rin Routu, protože tě nezajímá Saber Routa, ty debile. Já to mám naplánovaný. Ten thumbnail bude dynamický, on se bude měnit. Až dokončím Saber Routu, tak tě tam přidám, protože půjdu hnedka na Rin Routu a potom na Sakura Routu. Trošku přemýšlej. Oh, okay. That's what makes you a heroic spirit. You need your master's magical energy to form a body. So if I cut that supply. OK, zní dobře, ale to bude doslova až za 2 roky tímhle tempem. Hele, shut the fuck up. Pomalu se k tomu dostávám. Už jsem dal 2 streamy tenhle měsíc. Já myslím, že se jako to tempo mega zrychluje. Taky to bude každý stream. Tak, každý den. Ne, stream každý den, takhle, ano. Umím mluvit. We naturally return to spirit form. Začíná mě ty hodiny začínají srát. In this state, servants are more like guardian angels. We can only be observed by masters connected to a ley line. Of course, we are still capable of conversation or reconnaissance. Anyway, užívej, nechci spoilery, OK, bye bye, uvidíme se na streamu za 2 hodiny, bye bye. Wow, that's handy. It'll make it really hard for other masters to locate you. Yes, but just as mages can sense other mages, servants can sense other servants. A servant who is skilled in magecraft may even be able to locate other servants from afar. Archer has it in 1. Masters are supposed to be capable mages, and the more magical energy the mage has, the better they are at detecting traces of magical energy. As far as I know, however, there isn't anyone else around with their degree of power. So what about you? Can you tell where the other servants are? Master, have you forgotten which class I am? Do you expect a knight to be able to scry far away enemies? He has a point. Archer's magical energy isn't on that level. It's likely that only the magically powerful caster is capable of easily locating distant foes. Fine. Then follow me, Archer. I'll show you the world you've been summoned to. Co ti myslel, čete? I doubt it'll be particularly new to me. Moreover, Master, haven't you forgotten something important? Huh? Something important? Yo, mana. Oh, good heavens. You really aren't at the top of your game. We still haven't exchanged the most critical point of our contract. The most critical point? Is he demanding equivalent exchange? Oh můj bože, oni to jsou alchemisti. No, that can't be it. The chance to take part in the Holy Grail War is already reward enough for a servant. There shouldn't be anything else left to trade. Wow, you really aren't a morning person. Archer sounds exasperated. His oh-so sardonic manner of speech finally gives me an idea. Now to think of it, he's never once called me by my name. Ah, scheiße. My name. Bráš, že to docela víš. No jako asi neví. Hádám, že nelže ohledně svých vzpomínek, ale... Měl bys to vědět. Finally caught up, Abby. I suppose it isn't too late. So, master, what is your name? What shall I call you? Archer sounds sulky. Oh man, he really is a decent person. I'm sure of it now. After all, there's no tangible benefit to exchanging names. Servants are forcefully bound to their masters by the command spells. While names are key to contracting with a regular familiar, there's no need for a master and a servant to be so intimate. But it's important to Archer. He's clearly trying to establish trust between comrades in arms, regardless of the command spells. Rin Tosaka. You can call me whatever you want. I answer in a clipped tone, unwilling to let slip any admiration. He'll probably just call me something impersonal like master or hey you, which works out just fine for me. Except Archer chews on Rin Tosaka for a moment. Then, Rin. Yes, the sound of that suits you very well. Says something really forward. ... What's wrong, Rin? You look unwell. Shut up! We are leaving, Archer. This is no time to be sitting around. I turn on my heel and storm away, huffing. This is so infuriating. I'm not even sure why. Damn that Archer. Did he say that just to mess with me? I bet he did. Definitely sounds like something you do. Yeah, I'm sure that's it. Must be all part of his plan to get me all flustered. I would better be careful. Gotta work with this wise guy from here on out. I take Archer outside. Turkey City, my hometown, is broadly divided into two halves. There's Miami, which is left over from the village the city grew out of, and Shinto, the developing modern region across the river. My house is in Miami, the old part. Miami is itself split into two areas. The European-style neighborhoods originally inhabited by immigrants from abroad, and the old Japanese-style houses set against a mountainous backdrop. Both areas are situated on hilltops along the outskirts of town. The street dividing the two residential areas is fairly normal by comparison. How normal, you ask? Well, this normal. This is the crossroads of Miami. On one side lies the road going up the hill to the European neighborhoods where I live. Opposite it is the road to the Japanese houses, and between them is the path leading into Shinto, where my school and the shopping areas are, as well as Ryudo Temple in the mountains. We come to the bridge connecting Shinto and Miyama. Years ago, a big train station went up in Shinto, bringing with it frenzied urbanization. They may belong to the same municipality, but Miyama and Shinto couldn't be more different. The name Fuyuki, written with kanji for winter tree, is supposedly inspired by the long winters here, which, by the by, are pretty long. Despite that, temperatures are warm. February here is only about as cold as the very start of winter elsewhere. I bet if you randomly started digging, you'd turn up a hot spring or two. Though, of course, our temperature weather disqualifies this town as a hot spring resort location. We got an odd climate where the mild winters suddenly turn to springtime bloom come April. This is what Shinto looks like. A number of tall buildings have been erected as if in a hurry, giving the hastily developed city a distinctly artificial feel. It all happened in the last decades or so, too. 10 years ago, there was a large fire that wiped out a residential area. Someone built a bunch of glass and metal buildings on the depopulated land. And here is the center of it all.
ここが神都の公園よ。これで主だったところは歩いて回ったわけだけど、感想は?
This is Shinto's park. What are your thoughts now that we've been to all the key spots? I ask Archer, who's next to me. Of course, he's invisible.
広い公園だ。だというのに人気がないのは何か理由でもあるのか?
It's a big park. Is there a reason why nobody's here?
やっぱりそう見える? まあ、ここはちょっとした曰くがあるから。
Feels that way, doesn't it? There's a story behind it, actually. I look out over the park. You'd think that a wide open space like this would have children playing in it, even on a weekday. But instead, there are only a handful of people. The place feels dull and lifeless.
10年前の話よ。この辺り一帯で大きな火事があったんだって。火は一日燃え続けて、雨が降り出した頃に消えたんだとか。
It was 10 years ago, apparently. There was a big fire that burned for an entire day and only went out once it rained.
その後町は復興したけど、ここだけはそのままなの。
Although the town was rebuilt, this place stayed basically the same.
焼け野原になって何もなくなったから公園にしたらしいわ。
The burnt meadow eventually got turned into a park. Archer says nothing, but I can tell he sensed something odd, even if I can't see him.
気づいたみたいね。そうよ。ここが前回の聖杯戦争決着の地。私も事情は知らないけど、前回の聖杯戦争はここで終結してそれきり。
Noticed, have you? That's right. This is where the last battle of the previous Holy Grail War was fought. It all ended here.
なるほど。それでこんなにもここは怨念に満ちているというわけか。
I see. So that's why there are so many grudges here.
わかるの？そういうの。
You can tell?
サーバントというのは霊体だ。そのあり方は怨念、猛襲に近い。故に同じ無念には敏感なのさ。街中でも濃い場所はあるが、ここは別格だ。我らから見れば固有結界のそれに近い。
Servants are spirits first. Our very existence is similar to grudges or obsessions. That makes us sensitive to lingering emotions such as these. There were other areas around town that felt dense with such a feeling, but this is on a different level. From our point of view, it's almost like a reality marble. Tosaka mutters under her breath. Archer's inflectionless voice mentions an unusual bit of magical jargon. innate bounded fields. Mages call them reality marbles. Reality marbles are considered one of the apexes of magecraft. They're said to be infinitely close to true magic. For the last few centuries, bounded fields have served as mages' defensive barriers. To put it in simple terms, they're like a home security system with real teeth. Bounded fields are conventionally erected on a piece of land or a building to guard against outside threats. They're merely an alteration of an area that already exists. Reality marbles, however, are something else entirely. You can think of them as a space that consumes reality itself. When a mage materializes their imaginary world, a representation of their mind, and overwrites the real world with it, we call the resulting field a reality marble. It's a large area, magecraft, that rebuilds the world according to a mage's wishes.
リン、どうした？考え事か？
Rin, is something on your mind?
ちょっと意外だったから。
Huh? No, I was just a little surprised.
こういう結界だなんて、アーチャーのくせに珍しい言葉を知ってるなって。
Oh, to postaral. I didn't expect to hear the words reality marble from an archer.
なんだ？知っていてはおかしいか？
Is it so strange fake? I would know it.
だってそうじゃない。こういう結界っていうのは魔術師にとっては禁忌中の禁忌。奥義の中の奥義だもの。アーチャーであるあなたが知ってるなんて筋違いよ。
Well, yeah. To mages, reality marbles are taboo among taboos. Some of the most esoteric arts out there. It doesn't make sense that an archer would know what they are. I shoot a quizzical gaze in his general direction. In reply, I feel an incorporeal sigh.
リン、英雄とは剣術、魔術に長けたものを指す。
Rin, the word hero, implies someone familiar with both martial and magical arts.
アーチャーだからといって弓しか使えないと思うのは勝手だが、私以外のサーバントにそんな楽観は持たないでくれ。
You're free to assume that your archer only knows how to use a bow, but I hope you don't hold the same illusions about the other servants. Oof. That does make sense when he puts it like that.
わかったわよ。今のは軽率な発言だったわ。次からは気をつけるからこれでいいでしょ?
Okay, I get it. I didn't think that through, and I'll be more careful next time. That good enough for you?
リン、ズバリ言おう。君は優秀だが、それゆえに他人を過小評価する欠点がある。成人するまでには強制したまえ。
Rin, let me be blunt. You are certainly talented, but that makes you tend to underestimate other people. You should break that habit before you become an adult.
何気に失礼なこと言うわね、あんた。
Ah, you really don't know when to stop. You know that? Break my habit? He's talking about me like an unruly racehorse. Will she?
別にリンがジャジャ馬だと言ったわけではない。単にイメージ通りの表現を使っただけというか。
Oh, forgive me. I didn't mean to suggest you're a horse, but it did feel like an appropriate choice of words.
なおさら悪いわ。
Hey, that's just as bad. Ah! Oh! My right hand suddenly flares with pain.
リン。
Rin.
ちょっと黙って、アーチャー。
Quiet down for a sec, Archer. The command spells on my right hand hurt. They're throbbing, almost like a dull alarm warning their owner.
誰かに見られてる。
Someone's watching us. Oh, fuck. I scanned my surroundings. I mentally weave a detection web and cast it out over the park.
私じゃ見つけられない。
I can't find them.
あーちゃん、あなたは？
Any luck, Archer?
難しいな。私には視線すら感じられん。
Doesn't look like it. I can't even sense them spying on us.
ってことは、見てるのはマスターね。
Which means it's a master. I don't know who it is, but if Archer can't tell, it must be a master. We don't have all 7 yet, but the fighting could still start at any time. Maybe whoever's watching me is up for an early skirmish.
レイジはレイジに反応する。マスターであるのなら、誰がマスターであるかは出会えば感じられるということか。だが、それならリンにも相手が識別できるのではないか。
Command spells react to other command spells. If you're dealing with a master, then you should be able to identify them if we come across them. Would they be able to do the same to you?
ええ。けど、高位の術者なら自分の魔力ぐらい隠し通せる。いくら霊樹同士が反応するって言っても、その霊樹だって魔力で発動するものよ。
Yeah.
大元であるマスター自身が魔術回路を閉じていれば、見つけることは難しいわ。
Yeah, but advanced spellcasters can hide their energy signatures. Our command spells may react to each other, but it still takes magical energy to activate them. As long as the master keeps their magic circuits shut, it'll be hard to find them.
厄介だな。では、こちらはいいように位置を知らせているということか。
That's troubling. Does that mean we are broadcasting our position?
でしょうね。まあ、私だって家探しすれば魔力殺しぐらいは見つかるだろうけど。
Pretty much. If I looked around at home, I'm sure I could dig up a way to mask my power, but
必要ないと。
you don't need to.
そう。だって隠さなければ向こうからやってきてくれるでしょ。こっちから出向く手間が省けるわ。
Yup. They'll just come to us first, right? Saves us the trouble of looking. Archer doesn't respond. Maybe he's irritated with me.
何よ。自信過剰はいけないって言いたいの？
What? Are you going to tell me that do not get cocky? I ask, a little defensive, thinking of our earlier exchanges. Archer mentally brushes the question aside.
君はそのままが一番強い。
You're at your best when you're like this.
小物には付きまとわせてやるがよかろう。
Yes, let the small fry come to us. I can feel the smirk in his tone. I'm not saying I like what he said, but it is enough of an olive branch, I suppose. We start walking around town again. I spend the day taking him to all the important places and even drop by some less significant spots that might be useful to know. After dinner, I make for our final stop. It's now after 7 in the evening. This is a good chance to show him the best vantage point in the city. The wind howls. We are atop the tallest building in Tento. The commanding view of the city makes for a fitting end to our tour.
どう？ここなら見通しがいいでしょ、あーちゃん。
So, pretty good view, isn't it, Archer?
将来君と付き合う男に同情するな。よくもまあ、ここまで好き勝手連れ回してくれたものだ。
I feel sorry for any future boyfriends. You really know how to run a guy ragged.
何か言ったあーちゃん。
Huh? What did you just say, Archer?
素直な感想を少し。と、確かにいい場所だ。初めからここに来れば歩き回る必要もなかったのだが。
Just an honest thought. It is a good position, though. If you had taken me here first, it would have spared you the effort of all that walking.
何言ってるのよ。確かに見晴らしはいいけど、 ここからわかるのは街の前景だけじゃない。
What are you
実
talking
際にそ
about?
の場に行かないと街の作りはわからないわ。
What are you talking about? It's nice, sure, but you need to visit places to really get the lay of the land. This only gives you a bird's eye view of the city.
そうでもないが、アーチャーのクラスは伊達ではないぞ。旧兵は目が良くなければ務まらん。
Not necessarily. You think too little of the archer class. One can't be a good bowman without good eyes.
そうなの？それじゃあここから家が見える？あーちゃん。
Really? Can you see my house from here then?
いや、さすがに隣町までは見えない。せいぜい橋あたりまでだな。
Not quite that.
タイルの数ぐらいは
Fuck
見てくれ
you.
る。
Not quite that far. Just to the bridge or so. I can count the number of tiles there, at least.
嘘。タイルって橋のタイル？
No way! The tiles on the bridge? I didn't expect this vision to be as good as the telescope I often see on rooftops. Sharp eye doesn't begin to cut it.
びっくり。アーチャーって本当にアーチャーなんだ。
I'm surprised. You really are an archer.
リン、まさかとは思うが、君、私をバカにしているんじゃないだろうな。
Rin, are you mocking me?
そんなわけないでしょ。たださ、あなたってアーチャーって言われには弓使いっぽくないから、つい勘違いしてただけ。
Of course not. I just didn't take you for the bow and arrow type. My mistake.
それは問題発言だ。帰ってから追求しよう。
That's a misconception we'll have to address once we go home. With that, Archer goes quiet for a while. He must like the landscape from up here. He's probably considering the layout of the city. I shouldn't interrupt him while he's thinking. I step away from Archer and approach the edge of the rooftop. Dot 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 dot. All I can see from here are the lights below. Headlights flow through the streets, and I can make out people on the way home from work. I can't tell what kinds of cars they are, or who exactly is walking. I can see them, but not clearly. It's not unlike how I could tell someone was watching me earlier, even if I couldn't pinpoint them.
少なくとも神道を根城にしている奴が一人いる。
At the very least, I know someone's made their base in Shinto. I squint down toward the ground. There are 7 masters in total. I don't know who they are, nor which servants are with them. At this point, every master is probably gathering intelligence on their rivals. Suddenly, I feel someone's eyes on me. There's no reaction from my command spells. I simply sense that someone else is looking at me.
下。
Down there? I peer down. People are walking on the street, but one in particular is gazing up at me, as if staring at the moon. Shiro! I'm not sure exactly who that is. I can't say for certain, and yet I know exactly who. I can't believe that guy. What's he doing out this late?
リン、敵を見つけたのか。
Have you found an enemy, Rin? Archer calls out to me. Maybe he can make out my rising hostility.
別に。ただの知り合い。私たちには関係のない一般人よ。
Not really. It's just someone I know. A normal person who has nothing to do with us. Unable to clamp it down, I irritably snap back at him and step away from the roof's edge. He couldn't have seen me from the ground. I'm sure it was just a coincidence. I haven't given myself away, and yet my mage side is screaming at me for allowing an eyewitness to catch sight of me. By the time I get to Miyama, it's 9 PM. Unlike Shinto, Miyama is mostly residential. After 9, there isn't really anyone outside, and the streets are silent as if it's much later at night.
こんなところね。 街の作りは大体わかった？
That's it for the tour. Did you get a good look at the city?
ああ、街のことならわかる。あとはおいおい掴んでいくさ。
Yeah, I understand the layout. I'll pick up some more details along the way.
なら今日はここまでね。私もまだ本調子じゃないし、家に戻って休みましょう。
Oh, then we are done for today. I'm still not feeling great, so I'm going home to rest. I start up the hill at a relaxed pace when I notice someone up ahead.
あれ、さくら？
Is that Sakura? Uh-oh. Now would not be a good time to run into her.
リン、何を隠れている？
Rin, why are you hiding?
黙ってて。あそこにいるの知り合いなのよ。今日は学校休んだし、あんまり顔を合わせたくないの。
Quiet. There's someone I know up ahead. I skipped school today, so I don't want her to see me. As I answer, I keep an eye on her. In the middle of the street, there's the first-year student I know. And a foreigner I don't. Uh-oh. They're talking. No, it looks more like he's trying to pick her up, while she'd rather be anywhere else.
リン、知り合いとは外国人の方か？
Are you acquainted with the foreigner?
いいえ、知らない。この辺りは洋館が多いから、どっかよそから遊びに来てるんじゃない？
No, I don't know who that is. There are a lot of European houses here, so maybe he's a tourist. Even as I finish the sentence, I'm mentally telling myself off for being so soft on that girl.
あ、じゃあ、あいつ人間？
Archer, is he human?
さあ、実態はあるから人間なのだろう。
Who
少な
knows?
くとも
Oh,
サーバントではない。
who knows? I can tell he has a human body, so that makes him no servant, at least.
そうよね。マスターでもないし、ただの血は喧嘩か。
Yeah, he isn't a master either, so it's probably just some lover's diff. Though even I know that she isn't the sort of to get caught up in something like that.
二人とも言ったな。女は坂を登っていく。
They're gone. The girl's going up the hill.
男は
The man. The blonde-haired man descends by the street we came by.
それじゃああなたはここを使って。私はもう眠るけど、何か質問はある？
You can use this room. Any questions before I go to bed?
とりわけ重要な疑問はない。すぐに戦闘を仕掛けない君の判断は正しいよ。今夜は魔力の回復を行うべきだろう。
None in particular. It was wise for you to avoid a premature battle. You should let your strength recover tonight.
それじゃあ明日、今朝の紅茶をよろしくね。
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Make me that tea again. Once I'm back in my room, the fatigue washes over me.
そうだ。眠る前にきれいに連絡しないと。
Oh yeah, I need to call Kirei first. That annoying priest left me a message. By now he's probably sent for the backup mage. It isn't my problem, but he is my legal guardian. I owe him a phone call, at the least.
電話と。
Phone. I punch his number into the telephone. For long, the fake priest picks up.
きれい？私だけど、昨日サーバントと契約したから。正式にマスター登録お願い。
Kirei? It's me. I contracted a servant yesterday. So you can register me as a master now. There's a brief pause. Gray's silence is deafening. I can feel its weight even through the earpiece.
いいだろう。ではどうする？一度こちらに顔を出さないか？君のご両親から預かっているものもある。君がマスターになった場合にのみ、成人前に伝えてほしいと頼まれているのだが。
ああ、それって父さんの遺言のこと？それならもう解読して手に入れたからいいわ。それじゃ気が向いたらお邪魔するからよろしく。
Okay. Understood. What will you do next? You should stop by. I have something for you from your parents. They asked me to pass it on to you only if you became a master before adulthood. Oh, are you talking about father's will? I already decrypted that. I'll drop by the church if I feel like it. Bye.
待てリン。マスターになったのなら。
ちょっと待てよ。Rin, now that you are a master. I hang up before he finishes. If I have to listen to Kirei's snagging while I'm this tired, I have a feeling my magical energy will drain away instead of recover.
さて、これで準備は終わり。
Alright. I should be ready. All that's left is to sleep. Once I open my eyes, it'll be a brand new day. 10 years ago, my father fought as a mage in the Holy Grail War and lost. Now it's my turn to risk it all for the same price. Ale bráško, ty...
それって父さんの遺言のこと？
Oh, I
それ
took...
ならもう解読して手に入れたからいいわ。
Huh? その黒...
それじゃ気が向いたらおじ。
待てリン。マスターになったのなら。
さて、これで準備は終わりっと。
Huh, zajímavý. Tento zmáčkl Alt? No to registroval tab. 2. února. Už jsme se dostali do 2. dne. Wow! 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 Congratulations! Congratulations! Omedeto! And after breakfast, I lay out my plans for the day.
何？学校に行くだと？
You're going to school?
ええ、何か問題あるかしら、あーちゃん。
Yes. Do you have a problem with that, Archer?
問題はないが、しかし、それは。
It's not a problem, but... Archer looks reluctant, but doesn't protest. After spending a whole day with me, he probably understands now that Rin Tosaka doesn't go back on her word once she's made up her mind. I can't sense his disagreement even if he doesn't voice it. I've also learned that Archer has a sincere side beneath all that sarcasm. He won't whine about a decision he has accepted. Yup, he's loyal and awkward like that. That's what my intuition says, at least, after watching him yesterday.
リム、マスターになったからには常に敵マスターを警戒しなくてはならない。学校という場は不意の襲撃に備えにくい場所だろう。
Rin, now that you're a master, you need to always be wary of enemy masters. If you're ambushed at school, it'll be difficult to protect you.
そんなことはないけどね。いいあーちゃん。私はマスターになったからって今までの生活を変える気はないわ。それにマスター同士の戦いは人目を避けるものでしょ。それなら人目につく学校にいれば不意打ちされることはまずないと思うけど。
Not necessarily. Listen here, Archer. I don't intend to alter my lifestyle just because of this. Besides, masters fight out of public view, don't they? I don't think anyone would try to sneak up on me in front of everyone at school.
そうか。リンがそう決めたのなら、私は従うだけだ。
If that's your choice, then I'll follow along.
だが、霊体化して君の護衛をするぐらいはいいのだろうな。まさか、学校に行っている間はここに残れ、などとは言うまい。
But at least let me stand guard in spirit form. Surely you don't intend to go there without me.
当たり前じゃない。学校に限らず、外に出るときはそばにいてもらうからね。 マスターを守るのもサーバントの役割なんだから。頼りにしてるわ。
Of course not. You stay with me whenever I'm outside. Not just at school. That's a servant's job, so I'm counting on you.
それを聞いて安心した。信頼に応えるのは騎士の務め。せいぜい期待に沿うとしよう。
I'm glad to hear it. A knight has a duty to repay his lord's trust. You won't be disappointed.
だがリン、もしもの話だが、その安全な場所に敵がいたとしたらどうする？
Still, hypothetically speaking, what would you do if the enemy was in a place you thought safe?
何？学校にマスターがいるかもしれないって仮定？
Are we supposing that there's a master at the school?
そうだ。確かに学び屋には生徒と教師以外は入りにくいが、すでに内部の者がマスターだとしたら厄介ではないのか？
Yes, while it's hard for anyone who isn't a student or teacher to enter, it could spell trouble if a master has already infiltrated.
それはないんじゃないかな。この町には魔術師の家系は遠坂とあと一つしかないの。そのあと一つっていう家系は落ちぶれてるし、マスターにもなってないし。
I don't think that's likely. The Tosaka are the only functioning mage family left in this town. The other one's gone belly up, so they won't produce any masters.
マスターになっていないとどうしてわかる？
How do you know?
あのね、うち以外に魔術師の家系がいるんなら、真っ先に確かめるのは当然でしょ？
Hey, if there's any other mage families in Fuyuki besides the Tosaka, you can bet I've looked into them already.
そいつマスターにはなってなかったし、あっちの家系の後継者にはマスターになるだけの魔力がないから無視して構わないわ。
He isn't a master. As the heir to the family, he can't wield the strength to become one. We can safely ignore them.
そうか。つまり、リンの通う学校にはもう一人魔術師がいるのだな。
I see.
マスターになれるほどの魔力を持ち合わせていないと。
So there is another mage at your school, but they lack the magical energy to be a master.
そういうこと。だから他のマスターは外からやってくる連中が大半のはず。
That's
そん
right.
な連中が学校にまでやってくることはないでしょう。
That's right. Most of the other masters will be coming from the outside. They won't be at my school.
まあ、今の段階ではな。
For now, perhaps.
だがリン、何事にも例外は存在する。もし学校に君が知らない魔術師がいたとしたらどうする？
But there are exceptions to every rule, Rin. What will you do if you encounter an unknown mage at school?
だからいないってば。魔術師っていうのは他の同業に敏感なの。1年も同じ学校にいたらね、どんなに隠してても魔術師の存在は感じ取れる。
I'm telling you, it won't happen. Mages are sensitive to each other. I've spent a whole year at that campus, so I'll be able to sense any mage no matter how hard they try to hide.
断言するけど、うちの学校に魔術師は2人しかいないわ。そのうちの1人が私で、もう1人はマスターになるだけの力がない魔術師見習いなの。
I'm certain that there are only 2 mages at school. Me and that Proby without any power to be a master.
わかった？アーチャーの用心はただの杞憂よ。そんなこと絶対にありえないんだから。
Get it now? You're just being paranoid. The scenario you're imagining won't happen.
だから、もしもの話だ。物事には常に裏目が存在する。
That's why I said hypothetical, but the unexpected has a way of happening.
本来ありえざることが起こるのもまた運命だ。
Sometimes destiny decides to make the impossible come about.
もしそういった事態になった場合、私に八つ当たりをするのだけは思いとどまってほしいと言っているのだ。
If we find ourselves in such a situation, I hope you'll remember not to take it out on me. Archer chuckles dryly. His smug attitude already makes me want to do exactly that, but I'll be late for school if I let him keep pushing my buttons.
そんなことあるわけないじゃない。もしもの話っていうのは起きないからもしもの話なのよ。もしそんなことになったら、その時は私の見通しが甘かったってだけなんだから。
Look, it won't happen. It's a what if because it would never happen in the first place. And if it does, it would just mean that I was too naive.
よし、確かに聞いたぞ。それでは行こうか、リン。
I'll remember you said that. Let's get going then.
君の学び屋まで30分。そろそろ出なければ間に合わない時間帯だ。
It takes 30 minutes to get to your school, so you'd better leave soon if you want to be on time. Jdeme do školy.
驚いた。もしもの話って本当にあるのね。
I'm legitimately shocked. It really did happen.
私も驚いている。いや、何事もケチをつけておくものだな。
I'm surprised as well. Oh, I'm surprised as well. Ah, it really does pay to be a pessimist. This is our exchange the moment we pass through the front gate. It's almost time for homeroom. So there are students on their way to class, all around us. Archer and I stand still like a pillar amid the swirling human sea.
空気がよどんでるどころの話じゃない。これ、もう結界が張られてない。
The air isn't just stagnant. Someone set up a bounded field, don't you think?
完全にではないが、すでに準備は始まっているようだな。
It isn't finished, but yes, prep work is already underway.
ここまで派手にやっているということは、よほどの大物か。
They must think they're a big shot to go about it this openly.
とんでもない素人ね。異常を感じさせる結界なんて三流だもの。やるんなら仕掛ける時まで隠し通しておくのが一流よ。
More an unbelievable amateur. Only a third-rate mage would make such a conspicuous field. Someone with actual skills would conceal it until it was time to strike.
で、君はどちらだと思う？
What the fuck? And how would you rate this mage?
さあ、一流だろうが三流だろうが知ったことじゃないわ。
Who knows? I couldn't care less.
私のテリトリーでこんなゲスなもの仕掛けたやつなんて問答無用でぶっ倒すだけよ。
More importantly, trying such shoddy work in my territory is just gonna earn them a beating. I let out an indignant huff as I cross through the grounds. As a mage, there's no sugarcoating it. I won't be satisfied until whoever made this bound field gets what's coming to them. Už se blížíme. I'm on my way back from the music room after second period. I spot a first year floundering in the hallway. She looks like she could use a hand with the large stack of documents she's carrying.
手伝うわ、さくら。
Let me help, Sakura. Sakura! Oh, so cute.
遠坂先輩。
Tosaka.
何、プリント？世界史って言ったらうちの担任じゃない。クズキのやつ。女生徒に使いをさせるなんて何考えてんだか。ほら、半分貸して。
Printouts? Our class is supposed to take care of world history. What is that Kuzuki thinking, making carry all these? Here, I'll take half.
はい。ありがとうございます、先輩。
Thank you.
いいっていいって。それじゃあこれ、さくらのクラスまで？
It's fine. Are we taking these to your classroom?
クズキ先生のところです。誤字があったから回収するって言ってました。
No, to Mr. Kuzuki. He said he needs to take them back because there's a typo.
納得。クズキは融通きかないからね。一つ誤字があったぐらいで試験を中止させるやつだった。
I can believe that. Kuzuki's got a huge stick up his butt. He wants to suspend an entire exam over a single typo.
試験って学校の試験はですか？
You mean an exam here at this school?
そう。あれは 去年の中間試験だったかな。みんながガーッとマークシートを塗りつぶしてる時にやってきてね。誤字があるので正しい問題ではなかった。よって試験は中止。後日改めて行うってあの調子で淡々と言ったのよ。私たちも驚いたけど、先生方も驚いてね。今でもあれは語り草よ。
Yeah, it was during midterms last year. It was near the end when everyone's answer sheets were already filled. He just came out and said there's a typo. The questions are incorrect, the exam is suspended and we'll redo it tomorrow. The teachers were as surprised as we were, and people still talk about it.
なんか、くずき先生らしいですね。それ、先生、ものを教える立場に間違いは許されないって人ですから。
That does sound like Mr. Kuzuki. He's the type of person who believes teachers shouldn't make any mistakes.
くずきのは度が過ぎてるけどね。さくらもそのうち思い知るわよ。くずきの堅物ぶりったら岩か山かって感じなんだから。
But he goes overboard. You'd better learn while you can that once Kuzuki's got his mind set on something, he's as hard to move as a mountain.
遠坂先輩、くずき先生のことが好きなんですね。先輩がそんな風に言うなんて珍しいです。
Heh. You must like him. It's unusual to hear you talk about someone like that.
そう？まあ、確かにくずきはもうちょっと柔軟性があればなって思うけど。
Is it? I do wish he'd just relax. Though he's alright just the way he is, ultimately. The faculty at our school is made up of both really nice teachers and some real scary ones. It's a delicate balance that Mr. Kuzuki's an important part of. He's the stick of the carrot.
まあ、2年になればもっとくずきと顔を合わせるようになるわ。あいつは倫理も受け持ってるし。
You'll see more of him next year, since he teaches ethics.
そんなことよりさくら、ちょっと聞きたいことがあるんだけど。
Oh, right, Sakura. There's something I wanted to ask you.
何ですか、先輩。
What is it?
昨日の話なんだけど、さくら、見かけない外国人と話して
Stalker.
なかった？
It's about yesterday. Were you talking to a foreigner?
見てたんですか、先輩。
You saw that?
たまたま。それであれ何だったの？知り合い？
I just happened to. What's going on? Is he someone you know?
いいえ、それがその、よくわからない人だったんです。あの人、道に迷ってたみたいでした。いろいろ聞いてくるんだけど、何を言ってるのか聞き取れなくて、その。
No, I don't really know who he was. It sounded like he was lost. He asked a lot of questions, but I couldn't really understand what he was saying. Ah, and that's when she slipped away.
そっか。ごめんなさい。少しだけ気になったから。
I see. Sorry, I was just curious.
いえ、構いません。その、ここまででいいです、先輩。あとは届けるだけですから。
No, I don't mind. Oh, it's just in here. I can get the rest now.
そう？それじゃあまたね。
Okay, see you later then. Bye bye, Sakura. I return the printouts to Sakura, but before I head back to my class, I find myself stopping.
さくら、最近はどう？
How are you lately, Sakura?
はい、大丈夫。元気です、私。
Ah, I'm okay. I'm doing well.
そう。シンジがまた何かやったら言いなさい。あいつはどってものを知らないから。黙っていると悪化する一方よ。
I see. Let me know if Shinji's up to something. He doesn't know when to quit, so it'll just get worse if you keep quiet.
心配いりませんよ、先輩。兄さん、この頃は優しいんですから。
You don't have to worry. He has been nice lately. There isn't much I can say to a smile like that. We say our farewells again, And I have my underclassmen acquaintance. And I leave my underclassmen acquaintance. Oh, the school day is over. Oh, už se to blíží. The classrooms are steadily empty, and the campus darkens by the hour. The crimson sun will set soon. Once night falls, there won't be anyone left around.
始めるわよ、アーチャー。まずは結界の下調べ。どんな結界かを調べてから消すか残すか決めましょう。
Let's begin, Archer. First, we'll investigate the bounded field. Once we determine what type it is, we'll decide whether to erase it or leave it. I speak to my invisible partner. I feel him nod in acknowledgement. Bounded fields are meant to protect their casters. You can consider them a terrain-based magecraft performed by weaving magical energy into a net and applying it to the earth to affect the inside of the field. There are countless types of effects they can have, ranging from wards that isolate an area from the outside world to avoid detection, to fields that limit the type of magecraft that can be activated within. The most offensive type suppresses biological functions inside the area of effect. And that's what's been applied to the school grounds. While it isn't finished, everyone in the school will collapse once it's activated. Something like that wouldn't work on me though. Bounded fields are, after all, targeted at the area I'm in, not me specifically. Such indirect magical interference won't affect the mage with magical energy flowing through her body. Similarly, the electrical charges that flow in the atmosphere won't disturb the electrical currents within my body. That means the bounded field has some other purpose. Whoever it is that put this thing here isn't trying to defeat a master with it. I don't want to believe it, but they're targeting all the people within the school. There's only one possible reason for that. It's a thought I can't stomach. After checking all around campus, I finished my search on the roof. It's thoroughly dark outside now. The school gates shut at 6 p.m. and it's now 8 p.m. Archer and I are the only ones left, and Archer's in his spirit form. That makes the seventh one. Looks like this is the origin spot. There are 8 symbols boldly drawn on the rooftop. They're purplish red marks that only a mage can see. I've never seen or heard of sigils like these. Well, they've got me there. I don't know what to do about this. Whoever set up this bounded field did it recklessly. But while imprudent, the magical working itself is an order of magnitude beyond my own skills. I could temporarily erase the energy of the curse, but I have no way to dispel the bounded field itself. All the spellcaster needs to do is supply it with more energy to reactivate the curse's effects. Archer doesn't comment. He's probably remained silent since encountering the rooftop sigils because he too has realized their nature. This bounded field does more than drain its victim's stamina. It will literally melt everyone inside once it's turned on. There are bounded fields which rob victims of their life force and spiritual energy, but the spell that's been applied to the school grounds is on a whole different level. This is no less than a soul eater, a blood fort which melts the human bodies inside it and forcibly collects the souls that ooze out. Jesus Christ! Bože Shinji! Since antiquity, souls have always been difficult to handle. They're theorized to exist and are considered to be a necessary components of magecraft, but only one mage has ever proven their existence. Our definition of soul stops at that which examines within, and that which is transferred between vessels. Do not only extract souls, but then capture them in one place. It defies comprehension. What's a mage supposed to do with a bunch of energy we can't convert? So, if I had to think of a purpose for it... Archer, is that what you and your kind are? It comes out colder than I intended.
我々は基本的に霊体だと言っただろう。故に食事は第二ないし第三要素となる。
You surmised correctly. I did say that we are fundamentally spiritual beings. That means we feed on the second and third factors, the soul and the mind.
君たちが肉を栄養とするように、サーバントは精神と魂を栄養とする。
Just as you sustain yourselves with the flesh of creatures, we servants derive from nutrition from the mind and soul.
栄養を取ったところで基本的な能力は変わらないが、取り入れれば取り入れるほどタフになる。つまり魔力の貯蔵量が上がっていくというわけだ。
While said nutrition doesn't change our base abilities, acquiring more of it does make us more durable. It increases our reserves of magical energy. In other words, he's right. The way to make your own servant stronger is to indiscriminately attack human beings.
マスターから提供される魔力だけじゃ足りないってこと？
So your own master's magical energy isn't enough.
足りなくはないが、大いに越したことはない。実力が劣る場合、弱点を武士で補うのが戦争だろう。
It's sufficient, but it never hurts to have more. In war, some weaknesses can be compensated with material when one is lacking in fighting strength.
周囲の人間からエネルギーを奪うのはマスターとしては基本的な戦略だ。そういった意味で言えば、この結界は効率がいい。
It's a basic strategy for a master to take energy from the humans around them. In that sense, this bounded field is an efficient tactic. Archer's saying that I should murder people and take their power if I want to win. It's so simple. I've always known this to be true, and I know it's the path I'm supposed to walk.
それ勘に触るわ。二度と口にしないで、アーチャー。
That really teased me off. Don't ever bring it up again, Archer. Staring at the sigils, I make my stance clear. Oddly, Archer sounds just as put off.
同感だ。私も真似をするつもりはない。
I agree. I would never do such a thing. His answer comes firm and resolute. Time.
それじゃ消そうか。無駄だろうけど、とりあえず邪魔をするぐらいにはなる。
Time to erase this then. It won't do much good, but I can at least slow it down. I approach the sigil and extend my left hand. The magic crest engraved on my arm is like a grimoire passed down through the Tosaka line. A mental switch is flicked. I pass magical energy through the magic crest, load a verse of bounded field erasure, take a deep breath and activate it. Abzug, Bedienung, Mittelstand. I then send a pulse of magical energy via my left hand. That should wash away the sigil for now. What? You gonna erase it? What a waste. Suddenly, a third voice chimes in while I'm casting the spell. Oh. I whirl around. Uh-oh, Lancer! A man is perched on top of the water tower, some 10 meters above, looking down at me. He's clad in deep blue that blends into the night. His mouth is drawn into a grin, and he has a bestial air about him. The beast's gaze is sharp and clear. In this bizarre situation, the man in blue watches me as if he's greeting a friend he hasn't seen in a decade. Did you do this?
小細工を浪するのは魔術師の役割だ。俺たちはただ命じられたまま戦うのみ。だろ？そこの兄さんよ。
Nah, it's a mage's job to play little tricks. We just fight whomever we are ordered to. Isn't that right, mate? His tone is lethal yet carefree. This man can see Archer. You're a servant.
そうとも。ね。それがわかるお嬢ちゃんは俺の敵ってことでいいのかな？
That I am. And if you know that, lass, you must be my enemy. My spine tenses. The man's voice is detached and nonchalant, but it's colder than anyone I've ever heard. So scary, it's nauseating. What's the best move here? I don't know. But my brain is still working enough to tell me that I absolutely must not fight him.
ほう、大したもんだ。何もわからねえようで要点は抑えてやがる。
Oh, I'm impressed. Here I was thinking you don't know heads from tails. But you figured it out. What really counts.
ああ、失敗したなこりゃ。面白がって声をかけるんじゃなかったぜ。
I blew that. Shouldn't have gone out of my way to taunt you. The man raises an arm. It appears in a flash. His once empty hand now holds. A scarlet 2-meter-long weapon. Oh! My legs throw me to the side before I can think. There isn't time to even hesitate about jumping off the roof. With all my might, I make a mad dash to the fence, intending to barrel right through it. A cyclone lifts my head into the air. It was by the skin of my teeth. In that instant, something slices through the space I was just in, tearing the fence apart with it. Ha! You've got a nice pair of legs on you. A blue whirlwind pursues me. There's no way out. The fence is behind me. My flanks are cut off. I won't make it. Es ist groß. Es ist klein. I react swiftly. My magic resurges to life, so I can weave a single count magecraft. The spell lightens mass and manipulates gravity. Light as a feather, my body bounces into the air. Rin! I know, I got this. And I jump over the fence to plummet off the roof. Air resistance and gravity push and pull along my body. It's about 15 meters to the ground, 1.7 seconds away. Too slow, he's going to catch up to me. Vox Gott es Atlas! Archer, handle the landing. I let Archer absorb the shock of the landing and break into a dash as soon as we touch down. I couldn't stay on that rooftop. We need a less cramped arena from which to maneuver freely. A battlefield without obstacles, where Archer and I can truly shine. It takes me less than 7 seconds to escape from the roof to the schoolyard. A distance of over 100 meters, crossed at a pace no normal person can manage, much less clearly see. And yet... You really do have good legs. I almost feel bad about having to kill you here. Against the servant. It's wasted effort. Archer! Ooh. At the same time, I draw back. Archer materializes before me. It's a cloudy night. Archer's hand grips a short sword that faintly reflects the moonlight. The man's lips twist into an ominous sneer. Yeah, that's how this ought to be. Can't say I hate guys like you who are quick on the uptake. The whirlwind howls. It's the weapon he swung at me on the rooftop, a spear of blood-like crimson that came mercilessly for my head. A lancer. That's me. Oh. That's me. That must make your servant a saber. Nah, he doesn't feel like one. Who the hell are you? Gone is his carefree ease from a moment ago. Archer stays silent, facing off against Lance's unconcealed bloodlust. There's just under 5 meters between them. Lance's weapon is nearly 2 meters long. Doesn't feel like this is the beast of a man. It doesn't feel like this beast of a man is going to be deterred by a mere 3 meter distance. I can't tell you're not the type to settle things man to man. That must make you Archer. Archer doesn't take the bait. An unusual clash of blue and red stare each other down. The two knights, somewhat similarly dressed, mutually calculate the other's demise. Alright, all that's left is to throw down. Draw your bow, Archer. Not how I usually do this, but I'm polite enough to wait that long. ... Archer doesn't answer. His back, as steely as a sword, seems to convey that. He must not have anything to say to someone he must defeat. That's when I realize it. I'm such a fool. Archer was waiting for my word. Archer. I call out to him without getting any closer. Don't hold back. Show me everything you've got. Was that a laugh? The Red Knight surges forward, his lips curled in response. Wind swirls. A scarlet bullet flies forth, blade in hand. Back. Blue spear thrust intercepts him. If the charging archer is a gust of wind, then the spear tip that rises to meet him is a divine storm. Streaking blades, elegant parries. Archer is put on the defensive, fending off the swift thrust with his short sword. Gah. The man in red is stopped in his tracks, his advance denied by the enemy. He can't even reach the 2-meter coverage of the spear. A polearm wielder can control his opponent's range. Lancer, with his nearly 2-meter reach, needs to simply engage his foe whenever he comes within range. It's easier for him to stab an advancing opponent than it is for him to go after Archer himself. Despite this, Lancer closes the distance himself to press the attack, all the while keeping Archer from advancing further. You're a damn fool of a bowman trying to challenge me in close combat. Lancer's snarl is fiery. With each thrust, Lancer closes in, the assault never letting up for a second. Moving in too close is suicide for a spear wielder. The advantage of a spear is the ability to control the enemy's position. Lancer shouldn't have a chance if he keeps closing in. No way. But that's only according to conventional wisdom. Unceasingly, Lancer's spear seeks to pierce Archer's throat, shoulder, forehead, heart. The strikes are too swift to even leave an afterimage. Archer is forced to parry, block, or evade every move of the spear. Any strike, if true, would be a mortal blow. Fuck! Still, Archer is a servant, even if he specializes with the bow. He won't be brought down so easily by mundane attacks. Huh? The thrust at his forehead is quickly batted aside, and Archer reduces charge in spite of Lancer's spear. One might think that swordplay is all there is to Archer's attacks, but he's exploiting a weakness of spear tactics. Against the spear's considerable reach, neither retreat nor evasion are viable defenses for long. A half-hearted withdrawal isn't enough to get out of range. Pile-probing attacks will lead to evisceration. A reckless charge will similarly end in impalement at the edge of the spear's range. Archer and Lancer have more or less the same physical stature. Without heavy armor, it's difficult for Archer to penetrate the lethal storm of Lancer's attack radius. But Lancer's strikes are a different story. The high-speed thrusts intended to pierce vital spots are indeed terrifying, but each strike has a set trajectory and target. If one can predict these, then there are ways to avoid harm. Just as Archer is doing, one can block the strikes aimed at vital spots or just barely evade their arcs to create safe openings. Lancer probably underestimated him as a ranged specialist. The advantage of a long weapon is the generous range at which one can engage the opponent. By giving that up, Lancer has assured his... Yeah? The man in red stops in his tracks. I watch a nightmare unfold, as if time has rewinded. Lance's attacks become even faster than before. Archer's short sword is knocked aside as he twists to avoid being skewered. Lance's spear doesn't allow a retreat, or rather, his endless attacks are so fierce and sharp that even servants are doomed against them. We were the ones who underestimated our enemy. That servant, that Lancer, and his spear can't be described in mundane martial terms. Who could possibly survive such a relentless barrage? Archer beats a desperate retreat while parrying strikes, creating slightly more distance between the fighters. In that moment, Lancer steps into the gap and unleashes an even more ferocious attack. The storm of attacks is little different from what he has already been doing, but their execution is truly godlike. They've already clashed 10 times. No, it's actually several times more than that. The torrent of spear strikes increases again in intensity and number, threatening to take Archer's life 1,000 times over. It isn't even a change in speed, but in precision. At a steady pace, Lance's spear comes down on Archer like a waterfall. How can Archer get inside his guard? It's such a short weapon, all he can do is defend against the spear. He has no way to close in on Lancer. In fact, he's being forced backwards. The steel vacuum stretches out. I should be backing Archer up, but the right words die in my throat. My magecraft isn't easy to aim precisely. I risk hitting Archer too if he can't get far away enough from Lancer. Meanwhile, Lancer's advantage will only deepen. And, to be honest, I'm captivated by their duel. So, this is a battle between servants. The Holy Grail War is a battle between familiars of the highest order. Heroic spirits, beings that we mages can't begin to approach. No. Zase bych se neuchvátil. Servants. Familiars divided among 7 classes and roles, serving 7 masters. Supreme familiars called forth by the Holy Grail itself. Familiar is really a misnomer for them. Familiars are supposed to be subservient minions who act on behalf of a mage. Normally, you'd imagine something like a Puss in Boots. Huh? An elegant white bird. Or a disobedient black dog. Something like that. Those sorts of familiars are what a typical mage can manage to command. Familiars are just that. From the Latin for a menial servant. It's inconceivable that a mascot used for menial labor would be stronger than its master. Servants are a different story. They're quite literally the most powerful examples of humanity. Even the 5 magicians wouldn't be able to control them. It's difficult to summon a servant, but not because servants are more powerful than mages. Servants are beings that surpass magecraft itself. To be clear, servants are heroes of the past. Myths, legends, fables, histories. We call the glorious superhumans from our traditions heroes, whether the tales are true or not. Immortalized by what humanity says about them. They cease to be merely human after death and ascend to something greater. People who work miracles, who save the multitudes, who accomplish great feats are elevated to the status of heroes. Either in life or after death, they become a type of elemental we call heroic spirits, guardians of the human race. It doesn't matter whether they were historical people or characters from mythology. Heroes are created by the thoughts of the people. We imagine them as idols. Idols? We wish they were, and treat them as if they were real. Objective truth is irrelevant. Fame and faith are sufficient to give form to these legends. They're humanity's ultimate ideals, the greatest among us. That's what it means to be a hero and a heroic spirit. Naturally, it's impossible for a mere human to control something greater than human. What mages usually do is borrow a portion of their power and imitate their feats. Summoning a complete heroic spirit is simply impossible. Yet, the Holy Grail makes it possible. It allows us to summon these spirits in the flesh and even bind them to our command. The sheer absurdity of it proves the Grail's omnipotence. That's how heroic spirits are summoned from across time, whether from the Age of Gods or as recent as a century ago. The 7 heroic spirits serve and protect their 7 masters, and each master sends their servants out to defeat enemy masters. It's a deathmatch between heroes of every age and every land. That's the story behind the ritual we call the Holy Grail War. Of course, there are limits to what the Grail can do. Even the Holy Grail can't indiscriminately summon mythic beings akin to elementals. Just as a form created by the people is required to materialize the 6th theoretical factor known as demons. Heroic spirits need a material form to operate in this world. This is their temporary label and the way they're allowed to exist in this world. The Holy Grail provides vessels that heroic spirits can easily materialize in, called classes. And only heroic spirits that fit these classes can be summoned. A class is like a passport that lets a heroic spirit visit the modern era to act as a familiar. It's a material vessel that they temporarily possess. Okay. Ty vole, já teď to všechno vím. There are 7 masters and 7... Ano. Each... Ano, to víme. Ano. Ano. To víme. To můžu skipnout, to vím. A jestli vy nevíte, tak jste idioti. The Cavalry. Bla 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 bla. Ano, víme. All the heroic spirits with attributes corresponding to the 7 classes can be summoned to the modern world. Ano, to víme. That's the servant system. Humans summon and make contracts with heroic spirits beyond our ability to handle, all in hopes of winning a miracle beyond our ken. It's the greatest of battles that can only happen here in this land, like no other Holy Grail war. The duel reaches an even higher pitch. The short sword goes flying from Archer's hand after blocking one of Lance's strikes. Lance's skill is consumed. A seemingly straight thrust suddenly whipped into a disarming arc at Archer's wrist. It was an attack that Archer couldn't have avoided, even if he saw it coming. There isn't an effective way to parry the spear with his sword. A forceful block is countered with an even keener strike, while defending with minimal force will never create an opening to exploit. The clash between sword and spear is shaping up into an intense struggle to defeat an enemy outside of Archer's reach. You fool. There's no hesitation in Lancer, even as he taunts Archer. He pauses from the constant pressure he puts on Archer, as he intends to settle the duel in an instant. Lancer takes a firmly rooted stance, treading in a fiery glare with the now unarmed Archer. It happens in an instant. In the span of a breath, Lancer loses a flurry of blows that's no less than a flash of light. Imperceptible. Forehead, neck, and heart. The spear moves to skewer all 3. And yet... another flash of light counters the first that I couldn't even follow. Huh? Archer's hand grasps a short sword once more. Like the weapon he used earlier, it's a Chinese sword not dissimilar to a cleaver. But the greatest difference between them is... Shit, a dual wielder, eh? Blade and blade. In each hand he grips a sword, each clearly meant to complement the other. Playing swordsman, are we? Lance's spear sings through the air. Ooh! It becomes even faster, as if to herald archers a certain death. The duel becomes a symphony of clashing blades. Two steel instruments play a resounding chorus, the sparks of their conflict rising to a never-ending crescendo. Their battle is like a vacuum. It sucks in all the air around it, making me feel like I'll be cut if I even dare to approach. It all happened in an instant, really. But as I watched with bated breath, the moment seemed to stretch on. Lancer keeps his foe out of his fatal pocket, while Archer attempts to close the gap with his shield of dual swords. They have clashed over 100 times already, Archer losing a weapon each time, but instantly another sword appears in Archer's empty hand, and Lancer is slightly driven back each time. Lancer finally acknowledges his miscalculation. He has no idea who he's fighting, but it would be a mistake to keep dismissing his opponent as a bowman. A space opens up between them. Lancer puts significant distance between them. Maybe he intends to start over. That agility isn't normal. Archer's charge defies human ability, but he's sluggish next to Lancer. The swiftness of Lancer's retreat had the speed and grace of a leopard.
27. それだけ弾き飛ばしてもまだあるとはな。
27. I've disarmed you 27 times and you still have more. Lancer sounds irritated. Actually, he sounds more confused than upset. I feel the same way. According to my father, servants typically only have one weapon. They're supposed to be singular relics of unimaginable power, not expendable items to be drawn over and over like archers doing. Servants are heroes whose spiritual rank are elevated to the magnitude of elementals or divine spirits after death. In a way, they're not unlike angels and demons. They're powerful familiars on their own, but their greatest strength is the mighty weapons that prove they're heroes. We call these magic items noble phantasms. They're a favorite weapon or armor that a servant used like it was a living hero, and it's literally the servant's secret weapon. To a servant, a noble phantasm is a one-of-a-kind armament. It's the servant's indispensable ultimate weapon as well. The same goes for Lancer Spear. It can exhibit its power as a noble phantasm if he so chooses. A noble phantasm is a formidable weapon on its own, but its true power is expressed by invoking its true name. Heroes' weapons are known to have slain dragons and gods, to have conquered the earth. Servants activate noble phantasms with their own magical energy. It's not unlike magecraft, actually. Píči, já jsem se chtěl dostat jak Shirovi. Pojď. Servants use their noble phantasms as catalysts to create the destruction from their legends. A noble phantasm is most certainly not a disposable tool. Archer has produced dozens of swords by now. Each seems like a masterwork unto itself, but they surely can't be his noble phantasm. He's an archer after all. His secret weapon must be some kind of a bow. What's the matter, Lancer? It's not like you to be so cautious. Where did all that fire go? Shh, sneaky bastard. Think you can beat me like that? The cause of Lancer's irritation is obvious. Lancer has been fighting as a spearman, while Archer has been fending off as a swordsman, meaning that Archer hasn't revealed his cards yet. That must be frustrating to deal with. Fine, then let me ask you this. Which land are you a hero from? I've never heard of a bowman who's also a dual-wielding swordsman. It's easy to tell who you are, though. They say that only the swiftest heroes are chosen as lancers, but you're outstanding even among them.
これほどの宗師は世界に3人といまい。加えて獣のごとき敏捷さといえばおそらく1人。
There can't be 3 spear wielders as fine as you in the world, and only one has such bestial agility.
ほう、よく言ったアーチャー。
Oh, well said, Archer. For a moment, the bloodlust is so strong I forget to breathe. Lance's arms move. It's a deliberate stance, without any of the nonchalance he has shown thus far. His spear tip dips, as if to puncture the ground, but Lance's eyes bore straight through Archer.
ならば食らうか。
Then,
我が必殺の一撃を。
Then, will you taste my killer technique?
止めはしない。いずれ越えねばならぬ敵だ。
I won't stop you. You're a foe we have to overcome, sooner or later. Lancer lowers his stance. Simultaneously, a thorny, bitter cold overtakes the schoolyard. The air freezes. I don't mean that metaphorically. It's literally ice cold. All of the mana in the atmosphere freezes solid. Only the warrior Lancer is allowed to breathe in this space. The spear in Lancer's hands is undoubtedly magical. Its true form eager to burst forth. Oh no. He's going to die. I don't know what kind of noble phantasm that is, but Archer is finished. It's the first time I've had this kind of premonition. Final destination! And hard as it is to believe, I don't doubt it for a second. If Lancer unleashes his spear, Archer will die. That's absolutely certain. As Lancer says, his spear means death. Archer will lose. Lancer will stab him through the heart and he'll die. Despite that, despite these premonitions, despite this insight, I can't even help Archer. I feel like if I so much as lift a finger, it'll signal the beginning of the end. If there's a way to prevent Archer's defeat, it can only be... Who goes there? The sudden appearance of a far party whom we have all overlooked. Je to tady! Fucking finally! Huh? Lance's ferocity disappears. I hear the sound of someone running away. From behind, I can clearly make out a school uniform. A student? Someone was still on campus? Apparently, and it saved our lives. Archer answers coolly. Sure enough, the interruption did save our skin. I screwed up. I was so distracted by Lancer that I wasn't keeping an eye on our surroundings. Wait, what are you doing, Archer? Can't you tell? I'm resting because there's no one left to fight. That's not what I mean. What about Lancer? He went off to chase the witness. Oh, shit, sorry. He went off to chase the witness. Probably to get rid of them. For a moment, my thoughts grind to a halt. After them, Archer! I'll catch up! Archer pursues Lancer immediately. Damn it! I'm such a dummy! I curse my own negligence. It's standard mage policy to eliminate witnesses. Until now, I've been careful not to allow anyone to see me as a mage. To avoid that scenario, why did it have to happen today of all days? The night feels oppressive, not letting even the moonlight through. I find Archer standing over the body of a student, collapsed on the floor of a terribly cold hallway. He looks thoughtlessly down at the student. An odor reaches my nose. The sight of slowly pooling blood makes me realize that it's the smell of death.
追ってアーチャー。ランサーはマスターのところに戻るはず。せめて相手の顔ぐらい把握しないと割りが合わない。
Follow him, Archer. Lancer should be running back to his master. If we can at least catch sight of their face, then tonight isn't a total loss. Archer goes off after Lancer. Only the fallen student and I remain in the corridor. I can't look him in the eye, but I have to. This is my fault. This is my fault. This is my fault. Since I was young, since I made up my mind to inherit the Tosaka legacy, I've been prepared for this. Mages aren't governed by good or evil. I've known all along that this path would be a bloody one.
ランサーの槍で一突きか。心臓やられてちゃ助からない。
A single thrust from Lancer's spear. If he got you in the heart, there's no saving you. I don't know how many seconds ago. I don't know how many seconds ago Lancer killed him. It's just a matter of whether he was unlucky enough to get stabbed through the heart. The blood loss isn't as bad as I would expect for a destroyed heart, so maybe the injury isn't too deep. It might not be too bad, but he's still screwed if blood has been cut off to his brain. Though, yeah, if his heart was wrecked, then he would have died instantly.
その割にはまだ死んでないってのはすごいな。
Still not dead? You're really something. It's hard to hear, but just badly. My ears pick up faint breathing that might be a death rattle. But it won't last more than a few seconds. I don't have the power to save him. I don't even have a way to heal my own wounds.
顔を見ないと。それぐらいはしなくちゃ。
I have to look him in the eye, at least. I start to reach for the face of the prone figure when I realize that my fingers won't move. They're shaking. But why? I'm used to this. I've made this choice countless times. I've lost so much thanks to my own mistakes, my own selfishness. That's why I've always been ready for this day to come. Then, why am I so angry at myself?
ごめんね。見とるぐらいはしてあげる。
I'm sorry. I'll keep you company. You deserve that much. I use cold logic to still my trembling fingers and legs to check the fallen student's face. A great weight falls onto me. I feel like I've just been struck by a hammer. Piche!
やめてよ。
Just Ukika!
なんだってあんたが。
Don't do this to me. Why did it have to be you? I grind my teeth. No longer to brace myself against the shaking, but because I'm truly angry. Why did it have to be him? Why him especially? I'm not upset with Lancer for silencing a witness, as a servant should. But at school today of all days, at this hour, you fool. About you of all people. Sakura's face comes to mind. I'm sure she'll cry. And if I find myself recalling a day after school, some years ago, the sky glowed a distant red. A boy that always ran, and a silly little girl watched him absently from afar. That boy got involved in something he shouldn't have, and now his corpse is in front of me. There's still a way. If I fail, I might lose my trump card, but there's a way to save him. No, I'll lose it whether this works or not. So the outcome is the same to me. This is a mistake. His impending death is a foregone conclusion. It's my fault for not paying enough attention to what was happening around me. And his fault for having the dumb luck to be here tonight. There's no need for me to go this far for him. My father, who left me with nothing to remember him by, did, in fact, leave me this heirloom to help me. It's a massive store of magical energy, meant to be a trump card that helps me win this war. A precious, precious treasure, just for...
だからなんだってのよ、バカ。
So what? Stupid? I turn back and kneel by the dying boy. Well, that's that. The pendant in my hand gets lighter. My father's keepsake is nearly empty. With a clink, I drop it on the guy who was a second away from becoming a corpse. Nothing else I could have done. There really was no other way. I don't have the power or skill to bring someone back to life, especially not someone with a destroyed heart, damaged blood vessels, and brain death mere seconds away. All I can do is patch up his missing parts with brute force. You're lucky to still be breathing. If you were totally dead, then there would have been no bringing you back with any amount of magical energy. But if he's still alive, I just need to help him the best I can. I would have... I would have really hated myself if I failed. But it worked out, I guess. Yeah, I feel fulfilled. If I'm being honest, this wasn't such a bad experience. Though really, I'm lying to myself. Já jsem se chtěl docela aspoň k Saber do píči, no, tak nestíhám. I should go. I did what I came to do. Better get out of here before he wakes up. Yeah, there isn't any point hanging around. Archer's off tailing Lancer, so I should just go home. On the way home, I remember. I left my father's memento at school, though now it's just a pendant with all of its magical energy wrung dry. Oh, well, I don't suppose I need it anymore. It might have a little bit of energy left in it, but it's less than the 10 gemstones I'm carrying. What father wanted was for me to have enough magical energy to win the Holy Grail war. Now that I've used up that resource up, its container doesn't mean much. I arrive home without announcing my return and plop down on the sofa. Archer still isn't back yet. V 52 končím. I heave a tired sigh and listen to the clock tick for a few minutes. I need to get my head in the game. After a battle like that, what am I even spacing out for? I jump to my feet and make some black tea. I've plenty to think about. The servant we encountered most of all. I finally watched a battle between servants which, until today, I had only known through books. Lancer, huh? I panicked when he seemed about to use his noble phantasm. At least it would have let us learn who he is. Learning a servant's identity is key to defeating a servant. With the exception of the idiot who doesn't know his name, a servant's greatest weakness is their identity. Once you learn a servant's name and identity, then you can mostly deduce that the heroic spirit's noble phantasm. It goes without saying that since servants are heroic spirits, they have legends associated with them. Unraveling their history can reveal a lot about their abilities. Masters address servants by their class name to hide their true names. The more famous a hero, the more likely their weapons and weaknesses are to be known. A heroic spirit. Ano, to známe. Understanding, conceal, blah blah blah. Ano, to víme, include this one. There have been 5 Holy Grail wars thus far. Each servant's quality depends on the caliber of the summoned heroic spirit. Naturally, a famous hero or one with a legendary weapon is powerful. Accordingly, it's difficult to summon such heroic spirits. For that, a summoner needs a connection to the heroic spirit. Their summoning. such as weapon the hero wielded during their lifetime. Even the Mages Association, with all its resources, only has a few such items in its possession. That's why most mages, myself included, summon a heroic spirit whom you have an affinity with. A 7th strength is determined by the caliber of the heroic spirit, or so the logic goes. OK. To musím bohužel zastavit. Save. Február 2. konec dne, skoro. Až tady dokecá, tak by měli už konečně jít na Shirova, kde se to switchne. A budeme mít Saber! Já miluji Saber. Každopádně, uvidíme se zase někdy. Zítra asi ne, ale snad dřív než později, protože miluju. Začínám si docela užívat, začínám si užívat to čtení, docela mě to baví, nevím proč. Ale hej, uvidíme se zase někdy, doufám, že co nejdřív a snad se k tomu dokopu.